So with courses that are built within Salt Adaptive, we are able to export these to any learning management system that is Scorm 1.2 compatible. And we also have some features that are set up for specific learning management systems, so the likes of Saba, SumTotal, SuccessFactors, and they have some subtle nuances in the way that those platforms operate. So for Saba, for example, we know that it has a specific exit behavior that needs to take place in order for those course registration details to be sent back to the learning management system. So by choosing your preferred LMS, if it exists here, and selecting Scorm 1.2, you're then able to export a Scorm course from this platform. If your learning management system doesn't exist in that list, then you can choose generic LMS. And I have to say that works with about 99% of the LMSs that we work with anyway. So when we choose that Export as Scorm module button, this will export a 10 kilobyte zip file for us. You would then import that into your learning management system, and you would deploy that like you would with any other course that you have from any other source. And using our secure encrypted Scorm technology, the system's then able to, when the course loads for the learner within the learning management system, that then sends a quick request off to Salt Adaptive to retrieve all of the content material. This platform is capable of handling millions of requests at a time, and we have had that with some very large organizations that we've worked with. Even when we're exporting courses from this platform, we are also able to capture some analytics, and I'm going to just jump into that now. So Andrew, I'm just going to share my screen. Thank you. And so what we have on my screen now is an organization that has exported a very large number of courses from our platform. So we're going to look here at our diversity and equality course and the discrimination and sexual harassment topic. And what we can see here, this particular course has been exported to a generic learning management system, and it's in Scorm 1.2 format. From here, if I needed to, I could re-export this course, and I could put that into my learning management system or even into a different learning management system if I needed to. So if you're transitioning from one platform to another, you are able to just re-export those files. But if I choose my analytics icon, this is now going to capture some information around this specific course. And so first of all, I can see up the top here that 478 people have accessed this particular course. Moving down, I get to see my course progress indicator. So Salt Adaptive is only able to see people that have accessed the course, and they will transition from in progress to completed. And we can see here that one person has just started accessing this course, which is why the yellow bar has just popped up for us. If I rest my mouse on the chart here, I can see that 99% of those people that have accessed this course are complete. And 1% or 6 of those people are currently in progress. If I move down, I get this nice little histogram to show me the time that people are spending in this particular course. And I've got some context on the left-hand side here, and it's saying that on average, people are taking 10 minutes to complete this course. One person or somebody has gone through this course in 3 minutes, and the longest person has taken 31 minutes. Now, in order to complete this course in around about 3 minutes, it's quite likely that they have gone through all of the pre-assessment questions that they were presented with, and they were able to quiz out very quickly. Moving down, we have a quadrant that relates to the assessments and the number of choices, or the number of responses that people have gone through. So it's not the total count of people, but the total count of responses. And what this is saying here is that 95% of those people have opted to go for a pre-assessment, and that's what this lower bar is here. And what that's saying is that 57% of the responses that were captured for the pre-assessment were correct. And 43% of those responses that were captured in the pre-assessment were incorrect. And that's where it starts to build up all of this information around getting to a position of 2,360 choices. The top bar here is slightly different, and this quadrant will shrink and grow depending on the sort of number of pre-assessments that were taken compared to those that are what's known as first post-assessments or the post-assessment. Now, the post-assessment is when people have chosen to continue learning. They've gone through all the learning material, they've now reached the end of it, and they're then presented with the post-assessment questions. And what this is showing us is that 60% of those individuals, the number's just a bit split down there, but 60% or 76 of those individuals answered their post-assessment questions correctly, with 40% of responses being incorrect. Moving down, we get into the lessons area, or the number of topics that people have had to review in order to complete this particular course. And what this is saying, on average, learners have spent or had to go through 12 lessons in order to complete this course. Now, this is a 5-module lesson or a 5-topic lesson, so people are having to repeat some of that training in order to complete this particular course. Moving down, we get a breakdown of this particular course, and we can see that listed here by the single dot, and the two points here are indicating the various topics that make up this particular course. What we're seeing here is the average time that people are spending in order to complete this course. And we can see here we're dealing with discrimination, for example, people are taking on average 3 minutes to complete this course. If I move over to the right-hand side here, we can see that 7% of those people that have gone through dealing with discrimination have had to go through a single lesson in order to complete that. 18% of those people have had to go through 2 lessons in order to completing the dealing with discrimination topic. So what that means, they've probably gone through it, they've answered the assessment questions, got them incorrect, and they've had to go through that, the learning material again, and then go through the assessments again in order to complete that particular topic. If I click on that particular topic, my page is refreshed and I've gone down to a lower level, and it's got some more information, essentially the same sort of charts that we saw on the previous screen, but are now specific for dealing with discrimination. And if I browse to the very bottom of my screen here, I get to see the 3 questions that people were asked. So I get a high-level overview to start off with, and I can see that there were a total of 1,545 responses. And if I look at my bar chart that I see here, I can see that 31% of those responses were correct, 69% of responses were incorrect, and there were some here, or 0% had actually chosen don't know or skip, and that's what the yellow item is that you see here. If I click on the question, I get to see a breakdown of this particular question. So if this particular course was available in multiple languages, so if this was available in English, Spanish, German, French, Japanese, Chinese Traditional, Chinese Simplified, they will each be listed here. And there will be a bar graph available for each of those particular languages. And you'll see that they would have all been, have different sets of responses. And the total is a total summary position across all of those different languages. And what we can see down here is a breakdown of how people have responded to the various responses, whether they have correctly chosen the right response or incorrectly chosen the response, or if we see any of the yellow color, if they were there, they are to indicate that either they didn't know or they have skipped through. So at this stage, I can then choose to browse back up by choosing the breadcrumbs. So I'm back now at the dealing with discrimination level, and I'm now back up to the module level. We do also capture some basic information, and we're able to present that in a table view. And so the information that we get so far as a learning management system ID or a user ID is this specific number. Now, we don't know who 72906 is. We have no way of determining who that is, but we do know that it's come from this particular organization's learning management system. Now, the various reasons this is set up this way, one is for privacy, another is for GDPR. We get to see their current course state, so whether they are complete or in progress. We get to see when they were last seen in the platform, so 17th of July 2020 at 3:12 p.m. We get to see if any resets have occurred for this person or if it's the first time. So if there's 0 resets, that means this is the first time they've completed this course. If there's 1 reset, this means that they potentially had this course before and maybe 12 or 24 months has since elapsed and it's time to do that training again, and they've gone back in and done it again. The other option may be that they've chosen to go back into the course and they've selected the Restart Course button. Moving across, we get to see the time that these individuals have spent within this course. So the first person here, 72906, has spent a total of 11 minutes. The next person has spent a total of 20 minutes. We then get to see the number of teachings or lessons or units that these individuals have gone through, and we get to select the headings here, which I've clicked on, and we can then sort in those particular orders. So our teachings here is the total count of learnings that this individual has had to go through. So this particular account here has had to go through 25. Now, being a 5-module course and the amount of time they've taken, they've probably clicked through, click, and gone through each of those modules 5 times. So in order to go back up to the previous stage, I can click on my graph view if I want those. Oh, sorry, I didn't cover off on export. Back on the table view, if I wanted to change any of the sort orders here, so maybe by last seen, I can export this data by choosing the export sorted and filtered CSV. This will then download a CSV of all of those entries that we see on screen here. I can then import that information into Excel and I can interpret that data however I need to. Or I can export a raw CSV file and then I'll just place it in the order when this page first loaded up.